On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your intimacy with your spouse? When I say intimacy, it's not just at the physical level, but also at the soul level. How much you feel loved, connected, supported, and understood by your spouse. If you rate yourself between 5 to 7, you may think that, okay, not too bad, but you may be surprised that that is actually a danger zone. 1 to 4, you know and you feel the pain and you will want to do something about it. 5 to 7 is this comfort zone where you may or may not do something about it. If you're not intentionally building your relationship with your spouse, then you must know that what doesn't go up must come down, and slowly but surely your relationship with your spouse may be at the declining mode. Hi, welcome to Parent Tea, and today we are going to talk about your relationship with your spouse. So, how's your relationship with your spouse? If you say that it is not too good, chances are it may fall within these 3 types of scenario. The first one is feeling resigned. Maybe you've been trying really hard to speak to your spouse, but certain information or expectations are not being met, and after a while you're like, don't bother to even talk about it. That's who he or she is, and you distract yourself with other more important things. But at the same time, inside you're feeling unhappy, resentful, or disturbed, but you're not addressing it. Another second thought, you need to be very, very careful. Maybe there is certain common triggers around you and your spouse, and you need to be very careful to talk about certain things so that you don't rock the boat, so that you don't create emotion flares between you or your spouse. And that is actually not very helpful, because then you can't be your authentic self, and when you can't be your authentic self, the disconnection happens. The connection with your spouse is not as close, and you may feel disconnected. Third scenario is that maybe you're fighting a lot of the times with your spouse, right? And you find that it's really difficult to find peace, and that it is a very frustrating emotions that you have, and you may feel really frustrated or resentful. If your relationship falls within these 3 scenarios, you may want to work on your communication with your spouse. Sometimes we may have the mindset that, it doesn't work, I've tried so many times. But when it doesn't work, how flexible are you to change? How resourceful are you to find new ways to communicate and send your message through? Because if you don't send it through, right, it will continue to happen, because your spouse may be unaware of how frustrating it is for you, and they will keep doing the same thing again and again, triggering you, and that is not good for the relationship. For example, when you are handling a certain scenarios, do you force the agenda through, or do you really talk about it? Do you find common grounds first? Because we are all human, and we do have some egos. We would all like to be heard first and understood first before people want to listen and understand you. So being more flexible, but knowing that communication is really important, and having the intention to communicate such that something changes is really key. This weekend, we are going to have our parenting mastermind class. If you want to find out more info about how to work with your spouse and also with your children, this weekend we are talking about rekindling with your spouse. If you'd like to find out more, comment below and we'll get back to you. Happy coaching!